Right, okay, time for a little feature that we've created. And this is really creative, by the way. This is really creative. This feature is called Who is Going Where This Summer? Not so much a name of a feature, just a question, really. As we look at to see where a few players nearing the end of their contract and discuss where they should go next. Up first, it's this man.
It's Leeds 1, Southampton 1, and we've just seen another cracker from the right boot of James Ward-Prowse.
James Ward-Prowse, the man who is only second to David Beckham in the list of Premier League direct free kicks, scored. He's been superb, I think, for Southampton all season. In fact, they haven't had a particularly good beginning or end of the season, Southampton, but they have found themselves with this little gem in their ranks in James Ward-Prowse. He is a brilliant free kick taker. He's actually a very good midfield player as well. Where could he go? There was a rumour that he might go to Manchester United for a huge amount of money. Can you see that?
I mean, they have to lower it. They clearly don't want him to leave. They're clearly pricing him out of a move, similar to the Wilfred Zaha situation at Crystal Palace a few years ago when there was £70 million put on him. I don't think no one's going to pay £75 million for James Ward-Prowse. For me, I'm a massive advocate of his. I think he's fantastic. And I said yesterday that I think he would get into any midfield, probably apart from Manchester City and Liverpool. I think he'd play in any midfield. And, okay, if he did start, he wouldn't weaken them. I think the argument that what has he got other than set plays is irrelevant because set plays are a huge part of football. I would have him starting for England alongside Declan Rice in a number 2. I think that little bit of bite in midfield, he's massively improved. And I think a lot of games are won on set plays, and there is no better deliverer of the ball in the Premier League than James Ward-Prowse.
He doesn't mind the dark arts as well, by the way. I mean, he was with us in Iceland when he scuffed up the penalty spot right before Bjorn Gudmundsson decided to, Johan Bergmundsson decided to take that penalty kick against England in the last minute of that, I think it was a Nations League game, sent it over the top of the crossbar. He had a little scuff up of the penalty spot, got himself in a bit of trouble over that. Right, next up, it's over to North London.
Pepe with a lovely piece of skill inside the area and a little backheel flick puts it in for 4. Eddie Nketiah with a hat-trick.
Eddie Nketiah, whose contract is up, and as we understand it, he has been offered a deal by Arsenal. Do you think he'll stay?
I think he'll stay. Whether he'll stay in Arsenal as a player, I don't know, or whether he'll go on loan. I know I had the caller earlier saying I'd send him on loan. Perhaps.
Why would he go on loan? Why would he sign a contract to stay at Arsenal? Because he's out of contract in the summer. Why would he sign a contract to stay there and then go out on loan?
Because Arsenal are building something.
He's in his early 20s now.
Arsenal are building something. He's 22. If he feels he's confident enough to one day be the focal point of number 9 for Arsenal, I don't think he's quite there yet. I'm saying that. West Ham, it was the best I've seen him. He didn't score, but he held it up. He made some great runs. He looks fast. And he's a good finisher as well. But depending on where Arsenal finish, they're going to have a list of players that they want to sign as centre forwards. So perhaps we're going to talk about him as well, Conor Gallagher. Perhaps you go away, you learn your trade again in another Premier League club, and then come back if you're confident. That's why I say sign a contract with Arsenal. And look, if Mikel Arteta wants to play you, absolutely brilliant. But if not, you go away on loan in a Premier League, you learn your trade, you come back, and you're confident enough to be the main number 9 for Arsenal.
But surely he will benefit more if he's playing week in, week out in the Premier League for another team. Isn't the better option actually for him to go off and just ply his trade elsewhere and not worry about Arsenal? I mean, this is a guy who actually grew up in a different academy, was taken from Chelsea, went off, played for Arsenal, has done okay, hasn't really been given that much game time over the course of the season, but he was brilliant, pressing, full of energy. Is he not just like a player who's emerged at the end of a season in desperation because they need goals, and actually his level's probably more Crystal Palace, Newcastle than it is Arsenal and top 4 Champions League? He's not going to be the frontline striker. You've already said that.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. But in years to come, 2 or 3 years, maybe even a year down the line, he could become that. It depends how confident he is in his own ability. He's clearly a good player. And sometimes players do emerge. When you're given a run of games, you can see how good you are. And, you have that trust of the manager and you build your confidence. And Mikel Arteta has given him a few games and he looks good. So I would sign a contract with a view to going on loan.
That is a key thing, actually. I was going to ask you this. I wonder whether or not his uptick in performances has been because actually he knows he's in the shop window and he needs to show everybody that he's got talent? Or is it just down to the fact that he's been given an extended run in the team? And you only really find out how good a player is when you do that. They've done that. They've seen him do well against Chelsea. He scored against United, although it was scrubbed off during the game. He missed chances yesterday. All strikers do miss chances, but he played very well in that game against West Ham United. Right, okay, let's move on to another player who's been the subject of big rumours.
Here is Tielemans from distance, shooting towards the mark. Wow. What a goal! It's a brilliant drive. Rodgers runs down the touchline to celebrate, and Leicester lead in the FA Cup final, and it's Youri Tielemans.
King Power Stadium's Youri Tielemans of Leicester City, linked with Arsenal, linked with United, but his preference apparently is Manchester United. Can you see him going there?
I can, yeah. I really like Youri Tielemans as a player. I think he's got great ability. Belgium international. I mean, he's that link guy, the link player from the midfield to the attack. And, you know, you look at like a Christian Eriksen, he's in the same kind of mould as those players. And I think he could fit into Manchester United. I'd even go as far as saying he could probably fit into a Liverpool, you know, as a player that links midfield to attack. I think he's got great ability, always looking forward, always keeps possession, and has got a goal in him. He's got a great strike in him. I think he's a fantastic player.
Okay. Next, could this be the man on the move in the summer?
Richarlison races clear on goal, and Richarlison has beaten the goalkeeper to it and thundered it into the net.
Richarlison, who has helped Everton out in big games. He scored some big goals over the course of his Everton career. I don't know if he scores enough goals on a regular basis, though. I know he went through that purple patch, and he'd done the same at Watford, where he was brilliant. And then he went to Everton, he was brilliant again. And then he sort of went off the radar a little bit and, you know, his form cooled as the team's form cooled. He played for Brazil. I saw him down at Stadium NK score a goal for Brazil in a friendly match against Cameroon. What's your reading of him? How good is he? What sort of level is he a target for?
You know what? It's absolutely right what you're saying. What's my reading of him? He's unreadable, really. A few years ago, I think he had 2 years on the trot where he scored 13 Premier League goals. That's a good return for Richarlison. Then he had a quiet season, really. Scored 7. I think this season he has 8. He's got 3 and 2 for Brazil, so they clearly like him as well. On his day, he's fantastic. He's got great ability, kind of Brazilian ability. You can see that at times. But then on the flip side, he can be moody. He can be a little bit sulky on the pitch as well. So I don't know where he would go in England other than staying at Everton. So maybe a move abroad would be the way forward for Richarlison, which is a shame because he is a good player. But I just can't see another manager really putting up with kind of his sulks. I know it's his persona that he gives off on the pitch, but he looks moody at times. But like you said, great ability though.
Finally, let's look at 2 Crystal Palace players.
Drops for Gallagher, brought into the box. It's deflected in. Conor Gallagher joins Wilfried Zaha on 4 goals for the season, and that surely must be that.
Wilfried Zaha had a problem. He signed a contract he should never have signed. And as a result of that, he maybe lost his best years to Crystal Palace. Now, that might not be necessarily a bad thing. He's helped them develop, stay in the Premier League. And this season, he's been a big part of their success under Patrick Vieira. But he's now coming towards the end of that contract. This could be the summer that he moves. He gave a little interview in the Mix Zone after the game at the weekend in which someone asked him about his future. And he said, watch this space. Could he end up going this year?
I don't know. I think with Wilfried, like you said, he's coming. I think he's 30. He's coming on his next birthday.
Hold on. We need to declare an interest, don't we? You're his best mate, aren't you?
I'm not his best mate, no.
I like Wilf. You've got his number.
I'm a big advocate of Wilf. Yeah, I've had him on the boot room before.
You're buddies. What's he saying? Just tell us what he's saying.
Listen, he'll never talk about speculation with me, with anyone, really. And you know what he's like. Again, I look at Richarlison, I say he's a bit moody. Wilf's the same, but his passion, and that's why I don't like to criticise even Richarlison with the way he sets his persona on the pitch, because players can be that way. I think he's massively underrated, Wilfried. I always have thought that with other supporters. I think 12 league goals already this season. Again, that surpasses 11 last season. He's so important to Crystal Palace. Now, he's a Palace boy. I think if they want to earn any money, he has to go this summer. But I can see him staying. I can see Patrick Vieira's got a great relationship with him. He knows how to handle him. He knows where his best position is. He's great back to goal. You see that against Southampton when he's so strong, turns, finish, great finish, like for his 12th league goal. And I can see him signing a new contract. I think he'll end his career at Crystal Palace. I could be wrong. Like I said, I've not spoken to him about any speculation, but I can see him ending at Crystal Palace. And if he does,
there you go.
He'll have a
That's
statue.
Exclusive.
He'll have a statue outside Selhurst Park if he does that.
I've not spoken to him, but I think he's going to sign a new contract. Yeah, okay. I think we know where that's going. We wanted to talk about Conor Gallagher. My point of view on Conor Gallagher is pretty clear. He's done brilliantly at Crystal Palace this season. Chelsea's midfield this season hasn't functioned properly. They need someone like that with driving energy from midfield and get up and join the strikers. It will add to their attacking abilities because at the moment they're relying too much on players that aren't scoring enough goals. I think if he was in the Chelsea team, he'd probably be the top scorer of this campaign. So I think he should go back to Chelsea. He should at least try for the first half of the season to try and force his way into the team. I think they should utilise him because I think he's a cracking little player. He really is. And he's done a brilliant job at Crystal Palace and I'm really pleased for him. We wanted to talk quickly about Declan Rice. But ultimately, his contract is until 2024.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of speculation about him. Everyone's going to say, oh, yeah, Man United are interested in him. I don't think Manchester United are going to spend 120 million. That's how much it's going to take to get him out of West Ham United. And West Ham hold all the cards here. This is a club that have got a contract with him until 2024 and the option of a further year. He's basically contracted to them until 2025. They do not have to panic. If they lose Declan Rice, they are going to get wheelbarrows full of cash through the door if indeed he ends up going. We'll talk more, I'm sure, about transfers over the next couple of weeks because that will certainly hot up in terms of the rumour mill over the course of the next few weeks and months because the transfer window will soon open. When we come back, we'll dip into what's happening at Craven Cottage. Fulham desperate to try and clinch the Championship title tonight, and Luton still trying to ensure that they get a playoff